Hey everybody, I am Cy Tidwell, co-founder of iTOVi. Excited to be here with you guys. I have Jessica on with us as well. Hi Jessica.
Hello.
Jessica is from Louisiana, right?
Yep, Louisiana.
I actually lived out in Louisiana for a little bit. My dad coached football at Louisiana Tech, lived in a little Ruston area. I don't know if you're familiar with that area. No?
I have to set that straight. I'm from Ohio. I've
Oh,
been here so
okay.
kind of an import.
Awesome. Love that area though. Super humid though. Awesome. Okay, let's get started. We have we're going to try to be concise and just get right to it. So Jessica has had an iTOVi scanner for quite a while, right? How long have you had it for? And then let me ask a follow-up question. Why did you get it, Jessica?
Okay, so I've had it for about 2 years. I got it in January of 17.
Okay.
You guys were running a special of like $1. I think you guys were just getting started, and I was a new wellness advocate, and I was like, oh, I saw this little advertisement and thought I might as well try it. I'm kind of a nerd like that. I like to know why things work the way they do and what's needed. But I was new to this. I was just transitioning. I did not have a lot of money, and I was like, all right, what's $1? I'll give it a try. At the end of this month, if I don't like it, I'll just send it back. Well, That never crossed my mind. Once I got it, it was like, I cannot live without this. I always say it's the second best thing to our oils and products because it just shows you how to better use them, obviously. But I incorporated it into my business and into our family life and our family wellness. So ever since, it's just been something that I have had in my purse or on me at all times and using for various reasons. So
that's awesome. Yeah, and that's crucial, right? Keeping it with you all the time. And by the way, for all of you watching, if you have any questions, write them down and hopefully we'll get to them. If not, go ahead and ask them at the end because we are doing a giveaway for the month of July. Anybody that asks a question that we answer during the live video is entered to win an iTOVi case and an oil holder. And so make sure you ask questions. We like engagement. So, but again, hopefully we'll answer them. So Jessica, you got the scanner, you got it for a great deal, and you thought, hey, maybe I'll just cancel. Because by the way, you can cancel if you are paying monthly. There's no penalties. Sometimes you don't even have to send it back. You just keep it. It's a paperweight. You just won't be able to log into the app. So you thought, I'm going to give this a try. You got it and just absolutely loved it. And that's kind of what we want to delve in today is why do you love it? How have you used it? So let me follow up with a question. It met your expectations. Kind of how exactly did that happen? How did it meet your expectations? Did you formalize a process or a system during the time that you had it? And if you can share some of those interesting details to us, I think we're all like super interested to see how you used it because you've absolutely dominated your industry in the last couple of years.
Well, absolutely. First, I just used it in our home. So a lot of us get started in this because we're sick or our families are not well. So I started just trying little things, using it in different situations, making observations, and utilizing it and actually learning my product and testing my product as well as learning and testing the iTOVi at the same time. And in doing so, we found out so many things about our bodies that we were actually able to dig into deeper in other areas or even take to our practitioners and ask questions about, say, hey, what do you think about this? And it gave us a direction and even them a direction to say, yeah, you're right. This is what we're dealing with here. But I was able to actually deal with everything in our own home by myself.
First.
So that was incredible. For the first time in years, I mean, I have a pretty incredible backstory. Our daughter's preemie, and we had some incredibly terrible health issues going on. So this was the first thing that really empowered me to utilize what I already had in a direction that was more than just intuition or guesswork. I just love how they pair together, if that makes sense. So that's where we really started. And when I started seeing how this was working with us and giving us crystal clear direction that was giving us amazing results, that's when I was like, you know what, everybody needs this product and everybody needs an iTOVi in order, to pair them together. So like I said, it was right when I was starting the business side of this. So that was really easy for me to take with me and tell people on coffee dates or lunch dates or, carpool or mom meetups, like, hey, I got this new machine. Do you want to try it? And everyone's curious. Everybody wants to know what's going on. Yeah, because, when you're wondering what's going on, when your doctor can't feel what's going on with you, there's just like this innate, what's happening with me? And that's not just physically, that's emotionally too. And that's a huge side that I've tapped into, and been able to just help people and direct them in where to go in searching for their healing, whether it's going to counselors or prayers or products or whatever it might be. And so it's just been very twofold for us. And in doing so, I was then serving others, customers, friends, family, other builders that wanted to join this with me, and they each got one. And, that ripple effect of just one life touching so many more lives has been exponential for us. So
that's
cool.
Really
how we're realizing it.
I love that. And the same goes for the products, right? I mean, you're not going to start sharing the products unless you personally have a testimony of those products, and then organically that just naturally happens. And that's what I love about iTOVi is it's not it's a very unique, powerful tool to introduce products to other people in a different way that they may otherwise not have thought about. Even I've heard lots of times where people hear from their sponsor or somebody above them to take specific products or certain products, but then they get a scan and it's individualized to them. And then they take that information that they've heard from the person above them, or, then all the books, but also that individual scan, and then choose which products to take or begin taking, because it is an individual thing. It's personalized to them. And that's what I think sets it apart. So that's really cool. So you used it for yourself and your family, saw the benefit, and then organically, naturally started sharing it with everybody. And then they started getting scanners. And so did you find, Jessica, that it was I know this is the most overused word in the industry, but a duplicatable system?
Yes, but actually it was duplicatable before I knew it was duplicatable. There are things that each person is going to use it differently. And so there are some things that I intuitively know. If you know your product and you know the body, and then you can look at something, sometimes I compare it to a magic eye or like a jigsaw puzzle or a paint by number. And the more you're interacting with the person that's being scanned, or the more introspective you are, the better you can read that scan. And if you're using resources like the Essential Life book or the Emotions book, or things that many of us do use, you can go through there and actually just start making correlations, start making observations and going, how many of these are for the same issue? And even varying from scan to scan, because our bodies change all the time, right? I'm able to show people, hey, we're still dealing with this. Even though your body's asking for a different oil at the moment or a different supplement, it's still along those same lines. So we're going to just see how many times it comes up for you and what your body's just really drawn to or really liking at the moment to fulfill that link in the biofrequency, right? And so you said organically, and that I love that we were sharing organically, but that also helped us build organically, because when someone comes to you and they're wanting to get started, there's a lot of overwhelm, there's a lot of confusion. People don't know, they're looking to you to tell them what to do, because this is foreign to most people. We're not used to using, natural products or thinking about what our body's telling us. So this is a way to have a conversation, sit down, dig into some things, but also validate it. And show them like, hey, this is the direction you can go in. So depending on what company you're going with, you may start with a basic, all around kit, but then from there, how do we specialize it for your needs? And you don't have to look at all of these products and figure out, oh my gosh, how do I even choose? Because a confused mind can't make a decision, right? And they won't make a decision. So when you have a baseline there, and you have direction, and then you have someone with you walking you through it, showing you what they've already walked through, giving the confidence of like, hey, this is what we use, this is what we did, these are the results we got. That gives people a lot more confidence, takes away the overwhelm, and essentially gives them, right now at the max is 10 oils or products to choose from on their next order. And so our main goal is to have it all, right? Because I always say we're building our apothecary so that we can just grab something off the shelf. Because when you need it, you need it. And if you don't have it, you can't run to Walgreens and get it. So this is just, even if you don't know what it's for, even if you don't know why, which you should if you have someone scanning you, correctly and giving you an explanation, then you should know what it's for, why you would use it, and you actually need it at that moment. and not just one day. You will need it again one day, I'm sure. But it gives you a way to order your products in a way that they are priority at that moment and they can be utilized and not feeling worthless or just set up on the shelf.
You know, as you're talking, Jessica, I was thinking of just kind of in business in general. And, you know, any company that has a product or service, their main goal is to provide a ton of value so that the value is higher than the price, right? And nobody, I don't care who you are, you don't go to a Best Buy or shopping or anywhere and purchase something unless the value is higher than the price. And I feel like with all the products that are out there, you know, some of them can look in all the material like it's inundated, or like you said, you get overwhelmed with a lot of things. But if you simplify it and you have this expert that is helping you, that is in itself providing a ton of value. You're an expert, you're guiding that person, and you're not just simply saying, hey, get started and hoping that we're going to go, you know, dominate. You're providing value in so many myriad of ways. And so I really like that, because if the value is there for your prospect or client that you're scanning, that you're introducing to your company, they will see that and they will run with it. And it's all about providing tons of that value. So I really like that you do that for your clients and prospects.
Value and service, because if they see also that you are providing a service for them and you're caring what their needs are at that moment, you're not just shooting them a special, you're not shooting them an ad.
Yes,
How can I help you? How can I get to the bottom of what you're dealing with right now? Whether that's having a cup of coffee and talking about some emotional issues or making a plan for physical wellness.
Okay, so one or two more questions and then we'll wrap up here. And again, if you guys want to ask questions, please do so, because we want to answer them and you'll be entered to win an oil holder and also an iTOVi case. If, you know, what is the prospects? So if I'm a prospect and I don't know much about your company and you do not have an iTOVi scanner, what does my experience kind of look like? I mean, what is everybody else doing that does not have an iTOVi scanner? Is that click? Do you hear that click, Emily?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I hear it too. I think there's interference going on, and I just didn't know if it was on my end.
Okay, I'll move my cell phone away from. See if we can fix this.
I
Okay.
don't know if it was the equipment or the hurricane coming, right?
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, maybe speak to that real quick.
What the experience would look like if we didn't have iTOVi?
Yeah, like if, you know, before pre-iTOVi, what is everybody else kind of doing that do not have scanners? How do they introduce their product company to that prospect?
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of people that do it that way, and honestly, some people that have iTOVi still introduce, you know, without it, and then bring it in for maybe wellness consults.
Second or third time.
Right. But like I said, I carry it everywhere. I help my waitresses. I help whoever is there that is curious and wants to know. But a lot of people just will sample, or they'll just address one need that they're having that may be a surface level thing. And I'm not saying it's bad either way and how
Sure.
to do it, and we all do it different ways. But for me, I like to know the full picture, or at least as big of a picture as we can see at the moment. So without the iTOVi, you're going to maybe a basic class, a basic one-on-one, you're having a conversation, you're getting a sample, someone is lovingly sending you home with their oil for, you know, whatever issue that you might be having, which is all great too. I have just found a lot more precision and a lot more like cutting to the chase with iTOVi, and not having to try a bunch of different things that may or may not work, because you might be looking at something that you know what it is, but you really don't. You know, there's so many things that someone can be dealing with that it is just the outside of what's really going on.
Yeah, that's interesting. We at iTOVi try to provide as much value. It's kind of when I talk, right? As much value as possible. You know, and create this experience so that prospect or client can come into the company and have this emotional, maybe maybe emotional significant experience with the iTOVi scanner, coupled with delving into some books like you're suggesting, and really paint this picture of and a story of what's going on. Just to remind everybody, iTOVi is not a diagnostic device. It is basically what it does. Do you hear that click still? I'm sorry, everybody. We send subtle electrical frequencies to the body and then measure your body's response and reaction and display the top 3, 5, 7, or 10 products that your body has the strongest response to. I'm going to get in real quick, Jessica. Do you have any other questions or comments that you'd like to share or anything on your mind?
Not that I can think of without a question, but
okay.
I'll think of something. I'll let you.
Okay, awesome. Couple things, what you may not know about iTOVi. And I want to go over just a few things. There's 9 little items I want to touch on. So real quick, every week at 3 o'clock, we do these Facebook Lives almost every week. We might miss a week or two. But all your downlines, because it is powerful information, just like what Jessica shared today. There's some great information to take away from these Facebook Lives. It's all about us helping you build your business, and then we'll throw in some other things. What you may not know, you can omit products. I was speaking with somebody that's opening up a spa, and she was asking me, hey, I want to have 40 or 50 products. I can't buy any more right now because I'm just getting started. Is there a way to only scan for those 40 or 50 products? I said, absolutely, just omit all the other products. She's like, I didn't know you could do that. She'd had the scanner for like 6 months. And so you can go into the products in the settings and omit any products. That's helpful also for people traveling, going to different countries, or if you're in Canada, et cetera, and you want to omit products that maybe aren't there anymore. So feel free to do that, and then it will only scan for those specific products. What you may not know also is we're coming out with a new app also. And with that app, you can create your own product categories. So products I own or what have you, which is really cool. So you can scan for kits. You may not know that we have an iTOVi store. We have like these cool cases, and you put your little iTOVi scanner in it and little samples around it. So as you're scanning people, you could seriously create your own group and just have, maybe it scan for 20 products and only pop up 3. But, I'd say keep a lot more with you. But that's just a way to give them a couple samples. We have these little skins, wipes, stuff like that on our iTOVi store. So check that out because a lot of people still don't know we have an iTOVi store. And also what you may not...
Sorry, can I help you for a second?
Yes, please.
I just had a great idea. So with the thing you just had with the samples, and you were saying you might want to choose 20 products or something, that might be something that if you're doing like a sip and scan class, or people might already be with you at that point. But if you're at a coffee shop or you're doing something like that, and you just want to deal with like just what's in your starter kits, you can put that in there and let people know like what in priority would be on there, and that might be really helpful to them.
I love that. Yes, because you can scan for just your starter kits and putting that in here, giving them samples right then. I love that. Okay, what you may not know is you can scan for 3, 5, 7, or 10 products. Some people just don't know that. You can do that in the settings. What you may not know also is that, especially for you that just received this iTOVi scanner, just because the battery logo itself is grayed out doesn't mean your battery is dead. It means it's not connected, most likely. So it just means it's not connected. So don't look at that grayed out and think, oh, it's dead or it's not working. So just know that it's just not Bluetooth connected. What you may not know also is we do webinars for anybody that wants to do a webinar. We'll do one with you and your downline. We do ask that 10 people get on that. We'll do a private webinar, little training with you. And we love to do those. And lastly, what you may not know, we want to come to your events. So if you have a big group, 100 plus, 200 plus, and you're anywhere, we've been all over the country. It's super fun for us. We have a big sales team here. We want to come help you out, speak if we can, offer promotion. So just let us know because we're not always privy to some of those events. That's it. Jessica, anything else for us? You're awesome. Any other like tips, tricks, anything like that brain?
I'm trying to think of what I could add without like digging really deep into a specific area. It might be a little too off on one side, but just little tips and tricks that I use. I don't send out the email to people unless they're already a member with me, one of my clients, of course, or like a family member or something. Only because you've worked hard for that. You've paid for your iTOVi, that's your business tool. And then also whatever products you're scanning for, those are the products that frequency was needing. So it may not be the same for a different company. And you surely don't want, if you have a high-end product, you don't want someone taking that scan and going to Walmart and getting something that might be subpar or is subpar rather. So that's something, yeah, that's something that I definitely do. We love to use them at classes. We love, like I said, sip and scans, make intakes, one-on-ones. And the point that it's Bluetooth and it's so tiny is you can stick your hand out the window in the carpool line and you can literally take it anywhere and give anyone a scan and send it to them later and go over it on the phone. It's just extremely handy. And that's what I love about it. You can be as creative as you want with it, make it fit your needs. Leave it out on the table, like I said, when you go out to eat or when you're at a coffee shop, and undoubtedly someone will ask you what you're doing.
Just draw them in. I love that.
Yeah, you'll be able to help another person with their wellness goals. So
that's super
cool. Someone who might be on the fence wondering, well, how would I start using that? All of the above.
And so, and what Jessica's referring to again, iTOVi.com has a lot of information, but you simply download the app for free on any Android or iOS device, cell phone, iPad, tablet. And that's what she's referring to. You can do a scan with anybody, anywhere, anytime. And it's a numbers game, right? And so you have to still work hard. And that's why she carries hers all the time. You have to go out and ask people to get a scan or draw them in, like she's suggesting, which is very powerful. But if you're not scanning anybody, you're not introducing your products to anybody. And so scan as many people as you can, you're way more likely to have success, right? Have people be interested in those products, especially just in what, how that's individualized for them. Okay, Emily, do we have a couple questions we need to answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, can I end that real quick? I'm
Please.
sorry.
Please do.
Like you were talking about it being a numbers game, and it is, but it's also the fact that if you have it with you, you're in that moment, and you can help that person while they may be going through something.
Oh, yeah.
While they're having an incident, either emotionally or physically. And in that way, you can serve people so much greater than saying like, hey, I'll get you tomorrow because it's at home on my counter. So I just wanted to throw that in.
Enough said. I'm going to end right there because that's perfect. Very well said. Hey, Emily, what questions do we have?
So from Laura Carol Blizzard, it says, where can I go for a written resource on how to understand the scan report? Yeah,
to understand the scan report, iTOVi.com, there's some areas in there that will help to kind of define what the report entails. I would ask also your uplines or downlines who has a scanner that can help you. Kind of like Jessica said, she's there to help her downlines and people she's scanning understand the report more so. We do trainings. You can watch past trainings, but I would first go to somebody that's had a scanner that you know of for a long time to help, see what they say. But, check out our website as well. What else? Yeah.
Well, and I have been training people on the side. If anybody doesn't have an upline, like if you have an upline, go to your upline, definitely.
Yeah.
But if you feel lost and you don't have one and you need someone to talk to, when someone's using my referral code, I've been helping people get started.
Okay. That's true. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be upline. It can be anybody with an iTOVi. Yeah, absolutely.
Jamie Spellman said, how often should you use it, whether on yourself or a customer?
So, Jessica, how often do you use it with you and your family?
In the beginning, I was using it a lot more frequently just to get a feel of it. But now it's in time of need or in the morning. Like, what do I want to maybe put in a capsule this morning? What do I want to diffuse at night? That's how we're normally using it. I had someone today that a friend that had a bee sting, and she had to use an EpiPen and was in, a little state of trauma. And she was able to scan and send it to me, and I was able to tell her what to do so she could deal with it. And she may be watching right now, but I thought, what a blessing to be able to know exactly what to do, because the other things that we had been looking at were a little bit off.
Yeah, very cool. So yeah, and as it pertains to clients, maybe every 3 to 4 weeks, and then they purchase those products potentially. and then you rescan them. But kind of like you said, maybe as needed, right? People are going through different things in their lives. Be there for them.
Doing wellness consults, people will normally do maybe once a month, or maybe like, hey, I want to place my monthly order. What do I need to put on that order?
Yep.
Can I swing by?
And my partner's wife's the same way. I mean, she pretty much diffuses nightly to see which oils to diffuse. A lot of people do it in the morning to see which oils to diffuse throughout the day. So it's really up to you. That's a great question, though. Emily, what else?
Shelly Arnold said, how do you introduce it to people not familiar with essential oils?
Yeah, I think it's personality based, maybe, because some people will not have a scan and oils all at the same time. They'll bring up the scanner maybe the second time they visit with them. Jessica, maybe do you want to speak to that?
That's actually been my intro. That's what I'm saying. When people see it sitting down, or they see it in my hand, or they're complaining about an issue and I offer it to them, that's how they know, like, hey, this is what my body, is essentially saying that it would benefit from. And so that makes them look at them more than just a fragrance, or more than just something that's a little blue. So a lot of validation there. And so it's a great, because people are seeing it, and they're seeing the emotional and the physical. And especially when I don't know people, and it's validating what I've already said, then that's a great intro, because now they're going, hey, this is legitimate.
Yeah. And I think, with classes too, right? You might invite people over that aren't too familiar with essential oils. And, the focal point doesn't always have to be iTOVi, right? You're talking about your products, the benefits, making that the main focal point, maybe why everybody's getting scanned. And this could be the very first time introduction to oils and the scanner. Everybody gets scanned. You've kind of taken roll call to everyone. And now that's introduced products to them in a different, unique way, adding a lot of value. And then you follow up with them, right? 3 or 4 weeks later, do another scan. But I agree. I think as often as you can, do a scan with people, whether they are familiar with essential oils or not, or supplements pertaining to your company. I think it's just a powerful way to in a very passive way. You're not coming across salesman-y or pushy or anything. It's just, hey, do you want to scan? Everyone says yes. And it's very non-biased, a third-party non-biased tool that's individualized.
Really, how can it help you?
Yes. Yeah. And then you're just able to help them understand the report, really. So very cool.
Renelle Jones said, what is the best way to speak and introduce the iTOVi?
Okay. As far as like compliancy or...
Yeah, she said, I live it, but I feel unsure about being compliant in my intro to it in Australia.
Yeah. iTOVi's... we use a technology that's been around 100 years. It's galvanic skin response, similarly found in like Fitbits and Apple Watches. And through the 2 sensors here, we are able to send subtle electrical frequencies to your body, and then simply just record and measure hundreds of times your body's response to all the different products' frequencies. So as you're explaining it to people that maybe aren't too familiar with what I just said, relate it to something that's relatable to them. An Apple Watch, a Fitbit, just like you can measure your heart rate through an Apple Watch, and then through the app, check out that heart rate. These sensors are just like the sensors on the back of the Apple Watch. And then through the iTOVi app, you can see which products the body responded to, right? And it's very based off your individual responses right then at that moment. And so I would just keep it pretty simple, but to delve into like the technology and science, absolutely. If they're more interested, iTOVi.com/research. They could just go, research galvanic skin response. But you want to keep it simple and make sure people understand kind of what it does. We had to pre-record, pre-purchase all of the company's products and measure individually each one's frequency, because every oil and supplement has a unique frequency. We could liquefy almost anything and figure out the frequency. And so in our bodies, right, we have a frequency in them. And so we're simply measuring them and then afterwards sending those to your body to record and measure how you're responding. Watch that like 10 times.
I have an analogy that people love. When you talk about getting really basic, I'll always say, I talk about the Fitbit, but I say, it's kind of like a strand of Christmas lights. And when one bulb goes out, the whole strand can go out. So what iTOVi is doing is essentially telling you what bulb to put back in to light that strand back up and connect your circuit.
Super. I mean, that resonates, right? I mean, that's great. A lie detector test technology, we use some of that technology. And so galvanic skin response is found in there as well. So I love the analogies. Keep it simple for them. Great question. What else, Em?
Graham said, how many oils do you set the scan to for someone that is new to oils?
We recommend 7, but if it depends. Like for me, it might be different. Jessica, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess what you said earlier is 10, right? Then they can kind of choose.
I always leave it at 10.
They can just choose out of those 10, whichever ones they like, which I kind of like that because, if you're only scanning for 3, you get Rose up there and a couple other really expensive ones. And then all of a sudden, like number 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, and 10 behind the scenes are maybe more affordable, but they're still the top 10 out of all of 200 products. I kind of like that as well. If you
have 10, it gives you. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're totally good. I was going to say if you feel like maybe there's somebody that you don't want to overwhelm them with 10, then just scale it back a little bit. But you can choose 3, 5, 7, or 10. Go ahead, Jessica.
So I keep it at 10 because for me, it gives me a better idea of what I'm looking at, and then I can give them more options. So if I see several oils that are maybe really expensive separately, but we can get them in a blend, then I can help them get a blend and get more oils up front for my new starters, and have them have access to all of them rather than have to ration out, maybe only being able to afford a couple at a time.
I see. Yep. Super cool.
And then if you see them reinforced in different places in blends and the singles, then hey, these are the key ones that you should really be focusing on.
So we started about almost 4 years ago as far as like opening our doors. And I still learn new things every day, it seems like. So that's awesome. I like that. What else?
Pam said, is there an order of importance on the report, or is it just listing like the top 10?
So it is. The very top one is the product that everybody had the strongest response to, and then the second, then third, then fourth. So it is prioritized that way. Good question.
This person said there's a monthly payment plan and a one-time payment option, right? If we do monthly payment and we pay past the one-time cost, does the monthly plan stop, or do we continue paying way past the one-time cost?
The monthly plan is forever. It doesn't end. And so that's why you just kind of balance. A lot of people will start with the monthly and then switch and pay and do the choice program. We will credit you 2 months towards that is all. So if you wait, say you want to switch from basic, the monthly, to choice 6 months later, that's totally fine. You can do that at any time, but we only apply a maximum of 2 months towards that. So again, the monthly, the $39.99 goes on forever. You can get that down to $10 a month essentially by referring 5 people, and then we start paying you $50 per referral. Or you just do the choice, go all in, and then you start getting that $50 per referral right out the gate. So completely, we have 2 very different ones, but we feel like it fits almost anybody's financial, abilities. Plus, like if you just don't want to get your feet wet just a little bit and just try it, super affordable. Entry to bear is really low, and then you can kind of go from there.
Leia said, is it best to scan before class or after, or totally separate from the class?
Jessica, did you hear that? Why don't you answer that?
That's going to be on preference. The way I do it is I will scan, if it's a small class, I'll scan everybody after. Some people don't like to do it at a class at all. They only do it for a wellness consult. But if you have a really large class, you don't want to lose people there by scanning everybody in the end. So if I have a large class, I'll ask for 1 volunteer just to give an example of what it is. And I'll ask for someone that's really willing to be candid and vulnerable, in case anything, emotional comes up. I don't want them to say, no, that's not happening, and make it look like it's not valid, right? But we will do that at the end, show one scan, and then I'll let people know that once you get a kid or once you get started with us and we're going to schedule a wellness consult, then you can go ahead and get free scans as many times as you want with me. So that's how I do it. But everybody has their preference.
So Jessica, it sounds like you have quite a few people that have iTOVi scanners under you, and you're there to help them answer questions, return text messages, give them best practices. Is that right? You're there to support them. Okay.
I even have customers that love iTOVi. So instead of, maybe they're across the country from me, or they don't, feel like driving out to meet me, they get their own and they love it to utilize at home the way I did in the beginning. And then if they have a question, they can just screen clip it to me, send it to me, ask me to look at it, help them out. How should they use their products? And that's like best case scenario, right? Because now they're in their home, they're utilizing their products, they're more empowered to know about their own wellness, they're introspective, and then I'm just there to scaffold and help.
So last question for you, would you credit iTOVi to some degree that is one of the things that really helped you build your business at the beginning, especially?
Especially in the beginning, because I didn't know everything. And that's something that holds people back. Now I love it as, like I said, to really validate what I do know and, to help us make specific plans. But in the beginning, when I didn't know how to use lemon oil, it was great to use as an indicator, but also a training aid, because just like you said, you learn something all the time about iTOVi. Every time I do a scan, I learned something new about these oils, or what oils pair together, or, different things like that, what they are good for. So it constantly has me being a student of the product, even at this point, but especially in the beginning. It was basically like my safety net of knowing, like, I might not know what to tell you, but this does, and we will figure it out.
Love that. So cool. Okay, let's do one more question and then we'll call it good. Is that good?
Yeah. Okay. Stephanie said, does it work with all smartphones and Androids? Does it take a lot of battery power to use?
So you store everything in the cloud too. So if you ever lose your phone or tablet, whatnot, you just log into the app later on a new phone and it'll download everything. It does not take up a ton of storage at all. Wish I knew the exact. I can't remember. It's been a little while since I've asked that question. But no, don't worry about the storage. It does not take up a ton, like hardly at all. But yes, you can use it on any Android, iOS device, cell phone, tablet, anything. So that works really well. Now, the questions that we don't get to, let's answer them over the next hour. Okay. And we'll count them as entries. Okay, cool. Well, Jessica, your hurricane hopefully is going to be non-existent. I hope. Yeah. Praying for you.
We'll be good.
So
Louisiana has the Cajun Navy.
Yeah, Louisiana, it's crazy. Thanks so much for being on here with us. You're so awesome, and we welcome all of your feedback and knowledge. It's fun to do knowledge sharing. Not everyone is as open about best practices, and it kind of baffles me sometimes because it's like, why not? It's just everyone, and you've been so good at that. Coming back to everyone that has scanners under you, your code is on this Facebook Live. If you are interested and don't have somebody that's giving you a referral, use Jessica. I mean, she'll help you. We feel super confident here at iTOVi that she will do that, and that's what we want. Somebody that knows what they're doing. It's going to help their and support their downlines or cross lines, or even if you're not a part of the company, it's like she'll help you. So anyway, anything else? I think we're good. You guys join us next week, and we will be doing another Facebook Live at 3:00. So thanks for joining us today. Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you.